Okay, I gave a recent demonstration of open blocks, and this is OpenBrush, which was also created by the ICASA Foundation based on existing Google code for TiltBrush, right? TiltBrush, which came out many years ago and was fully supported by Google for a long time, and then it seems like Google got out of the VR game. So some of the applications that they had built, and even some of the headsets they had built for VR ended up being abandoned. However, they did give the capacity to make edits directly in the applications. Something happened where it didn't work. Play. Let's try again. Did not work. All right, one more time. There we go. Let's hope it worked this time. Trying to open up OpenBrush again. It looks like it's working this time. So in another video, I described a bit about OpenBlocks, which was another tool picked up by ICASA Foundation and then modified. But they had first worked on TiltBrush to make it into this OpenBrush application. So I'm just going to open up a scene. Of course, this is a scene that is already created by me. If you just go ahead and press the left trigger, it's going to load the entire scene. And this is not the most complex scene, but basically what I started with was a trunk of a tree here. And the way this works is, of course, just like TiltBrush, you can make direct drawing into the space. And I tend to use a lot with kind of unlit elements. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger in a second. Matte. What's going on? Why am I not getting the ability to modify here? Curious. I'm not seeing the rest of my layers. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm just going to go back one step. So undo is just right here on your left trigger. Yeah, you can make shapes pretty easily within TiltBrush, or sorry, OpenBrush, and you can change your color palette pretty easily. I'm just using eyedropper. Sorry, my color picker was way up here in space, but I could choose like this, and then I can make additional rocks if I wanted to. Pretty straightforward. You have lots of different options here in terms of the kind of brushes that you can use. I tend to use kind of a fairly straightforward set of polygonal models. So that it's something that I can then take into another 3D application and modify. Unlit Hull isn't going to give you any faceting whatsoever, so I'm not crazy about that. I kind of like matte because then I don't have to worry about it. I know it's something I can definitely take into a 3D program and further modify. Like these right in here are probably all, that's ground rocks. I love the fact that in the old TiltBrush you had no layers whatsoever, so you had to work on everything on the same layer structure. But here, that's my basically my grass layer. The main tree layer is the trunk of the tree plus a couple of these edits. Then layer two, I believe, yeah, that's, I already did that. Blobs is these bigger blobs right here that are kind of um, the mass sections of the tree. So I can just use the eyedropper and then I can make new shapes, which is great. You know, I can just jump right in, add more of these shapes, and then I can just turn off the layer structure if I am finding this a little bit confusing in terms of the hierarchy. So this is a huge jump forward. I know it sounds like a simple thing, but just to be able to use a layer structure within what used to be TiltBrush and is now OpenBrush. Anyway, that's a little bit about how you can navigate around. So it's fairly straightforward, just like OpenBrush. I mean, just like TiltBrush, you have the menus that are essentially off of your left hand or your non-dominant hand, and then you can move those out And these palettes are all manipulatable, which I like to just kind of move them around a little bit here on either side of my main workspace. But of course, you can then scale your space pretty easily, whatever fits your playstyle. I'm seated. I actually use a kneeling chair. Some people really love to be standing in this space. And there's additional features right here. You can have Snap to, which is also an improvement they've made from Icasa guides, which I found really useful if I'm trying to map something like along the edge, create like a tabletop structure or something like that. I can snap to the edge of, a rounded cylinder, something like that. You can change the environment and the overall lighting. Very simple to do. Looks like Tilt Brush or Open Brush was having a little bit of trouble there. And then I can go ahead and save. I'm going to go ahead and save this right here. Pretty easy to work with a sketchbook, which is basically where you store all your other assets. Let me just open this one. This is actually a 3D object that I pulled in. It was something that I modified outside of OpenBrush, and they could pull directly in, which is one way to work. You can, yeah, that might have been something I just kind of sketched over a little bit, which is a little bit of fun. You can definitely work in whatever way is most comfortable to you. I don't think I have a ton of scenes in here. Wait, I like this one. You can also use symmetry. So this very simple jet or some kind of stealth fighter was made using symmetry. So you just turn the symmetry tools on. Let's see if I remember how to do that. Yeah, here we go. Mirror. So it's mirroring along that face. And then if I wanted to create content here, I could just go ahead and do so pretty easily. Anyway, that is OpenBrush. Really built on the back of Tilt Brush, but they made some really interesting and fun additions to it. You can also set up cameras around your scene so you can make it so that you've got an animation of moving around the object, things like that. But I don't think I'm going to save that right there. I'm going to undo and then go back. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and you can have multiplayer, which is fun. You can have different people coming into the same scene at the same time. That's pretty new. I haven't tried that very much just because even though I like these tools, we don't often use them as part of my work, my day to day work. Anyway,